It was January 20, 1945, in Pauri Garhwal, Uttarakhand. This is where Major G.N. Doval lived, and it is his home that Ajit Doval was born. Ajit Doval's father was a major in the Indian Army, and his mother was the cousin of Yachan Bahuguna, the former Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. Due to his father's army postings, the family later moved to Ajmer, Rajasthan, where Ajit Doval completed his schooling from the Indian Military Boarding School. In 1967, he earned a master's degree in economics from Agra University. The very next year, in 1968, he appeared for the UPSC civil service exam and cleared it in his very first attempt. He was just 23 years old at the time. After being selected for the Indian Police Service IPS, he underwent training and was posted as an ASP in Kottayam district, Kerala. Just a few days into his posting on December 28, 1971, a major incident occurred that made Ajit Doval a known name in Kerala. In the Thalassery area of Kannur district, at a hotel named Noor Jahan, a man threw a shoe from the first floor. This seemingly small act sparked a violent clash between two religious groups. Riots broke out, shops were looted and burned. The violence escalated so much that even the police were afraid to enter the area. At the time, K. Karunakaran was the Home Minister in the Congress government. Under immense pressure to control the riots, he needed an officer who could be bold and fearless. Senior officer recommended a young and sharp new officer, Ajit Doval. Accepting their advice, K. Karunakaran assigned the task to Doval. On January 2, 1972, Doval entered the riot-hit area, a place others feared to go. He began roaming the entire region, gathering even the smallest pieces of information. Instead of using brute force, Doval used strategic intelligence gathering techniques. He developed heavy police presence only in specific areas from where the riots were being coordinated. Rather than resorting a lathi charge or arrest, Doval focused on identifying the key leaders behind the violence. After engaging with them, he realized the core issue: anger over looted goods. So what did he do? He tracked down and returned the stolen goods to both communities. Within just 1 week, without any major use of force, Ajit Doval ended the riots. Former DGP Alexander Jacob later submitted a report on these riots, praising Doval's innovation and peaceful strategy. His success gained attention, even in Delhi. At the time, Indira Gandhi was Prime Minister. By mid-1972, Doval was called to Delhi and inducted into Operation Wing of Intelligence Bureau, IB, India's elite unit. That same year, he also got married and would later have two sons, Vivek Doval and Shaurya Doval. Their story would come later. Meanwhile, in Delhi, Doval began preparing for undercover operations. Around this time, Indira Gandhi was concerned about the situation in Mizoram. Back then, Mizoram was not a separate state. It was still a part of Assam. A severe drought had hit the area and locals were demanding Rs 1 lakh in compensation. When their demands were not met, a man named Laldinga formed a Mizo National Famine Front. Later, it was renamed the Mizo National Front. Laldinga started voicing the concerns of Mizo population. The situation intensified when a policy was announced that only those who knew Assamese would be eligible for government jobs. The Mizo population saw this as discrimination. Tensions peaked when 2 battalions of Assam Rifles, mostly comprising Mizo soldiers, were dismissed. Angry and unemployed, 7 key commanders returned to Mizoram, and what happened next would mark a turning point in India's internal security history. They went back and joined Laldinga, claiming that the government was being unjust, and now they said, "We must take up arms." From this point, Laldinga and his MNF became very powerful. They began violent actions against the government, even talked about separating Mizoram from India. In fact, they attacked the BSF, removed the Indian flag, hoisted their own, and declared Mizoram an independent country. The biggest problem from the Indian government was that the local population strongly supported the MNF, and these 7 commanders had a huge following as well. The greatest challenge was that if the government took military action, it could backfire due to this massive local support. It was a very complicated situation. To handle it, Ajit Doval was sent to Mizoram. In fact, a former IB director mentioned that Doval wasn't just sent. He volunteered. He told them, "Send me there, I'll fix everything." Ajit Doval was assigned to the subsidiary intelligence bureau in Aizawl. Within a week of reaching Mizoram, he began gathering intelligence, even the smallest details. He discovered that Lal Denga's strength came primarily from those 7 commanders. However, there were disagreements and tensions between Lal Denga and these commanders, who had by then set up a base in the hills of Myanmar. So, what did Doval do? He went undercover as a spy and infiltrated their group in the hills. Gradually, he started talking to the commanders, won their trust, and soon became their drinking companion, sharing drinks with them regularly. One day, Doval even invited all 7 commanders to his house for a party. He served them pork, and his wife didn't even know the guests were militants. She cooked for them without knowing who they really were. Once Doval had fully gained their trust, he started persuading them to join India. He promised that if they returned to Indian fold, Mizoram would be granted statehood. They would be offered a ministerial position, and the local people's issue would be addressed. He warned them that if they didn't agree, the Indian army would eventually take action, and they would lose everything. From 1972 to 1974, Ajit Doval worked tirelessly to win them over. Eventually, 6 out of 7 commanders sided with India. This significantly weakened Lal Denga's position, forcing him to begin peace negotiation with the Indian government. Journalist Sakit Datta, during an interview with Lal Denga, quoted him on record saying that Ajit Doval took away my 6 commanders. I had no choice left. As a result, Mizoram became a separate state, and Lal Denga became its chief minister. The credit for this peaceful resolution goes largely to Ajit Doval. Meanwhile, while Doval was stationed in Mizoram, a new challenge was emerging in Sikkim. At the time, Sikkim was princely state, and its king, Palden Thodup Namgyal, became ensured in a US honey trap. He had married an American citizen, Hope Cook, who then became Sikkim's queen. Under her influence, Sikkim started falling under US observation, serving American interests. To counter this, Prime Minister Indira Gandhi consulted Raw's head Aryan Cow and sent him to Sikkim. Cow devised a strategy: support small local parties in Sikkim, help them grow in strength, and turn them against the king. The idea was to erode the king's popular support so that he could be removed without triggering public outrage or anti-India sentiment. The responsibility for gathering the support of local political parties and turning public sentiment against the king was given to Ajit Doval.